And with our new military campaign, we have stopped record amounts of drugs coming into our country and virtually stopped it completely coming in by water or sea. You probably noticed that. We very seriously damaged their fishing industry also. Nobody wants to go fishing anymore. We've also taken down one of the most sinister cartel kingpins of all. You saw that yesterday. In January.
A very good morning to you. That is the U.S. President Donald Trump, who is delivering his annual State of the Union address to Congress. Now, he has achieved substantive accomplishments both domestically and in foreign policy, but not all of his achievements have been popular, and some have been highly divisive. He touts his economic agenda and says he has overseen a turnaround for the ages during the first year comeback into the White House. But also polls suggest that Americans are souring on his agenda. So Trump will be aiming to convince voters to stick with him in November's midterm elections. Now, it's important that you know that all of Trump's children are in attendance right now, as is First Lady Melania Trump and 4 Supreme Court justices. That's an update from right overseas there that's taking place right now and is live. But for now, good morning to you. Welcome to Good Morning Uganda. You are watching UBC TV. We come to you always live from the Nile Avenue. Uganda has received its first consignment of 19,200 doses of lenacapavir, a long-acting HIV prevention drug administered twice a year, making a significant step in the country's decades-long battle against the epidemic that affects more than 1.5 million Ugandans. My name is Julie F. Nantawa. I am with Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono, who's very excited about lenacapavir. Also, Joan Murunji is part of the team. Together, we make sure that we start the morning with you, an honor that you give us and an opportunity, such a privilege that we do not take for granted. John, good morning.
Good morning, Julie, and a happy morning to you, our viewers. I saw comments online and people were anticipating the doses are going to be used up within a space of few days in Uganda.
As anticipating as Robert himself.
Oh, yeah. Okay. The Speaker of Parliament race is engrossing, apparently, with the latest entrant being the Aringa South MP, Alione Yoke Odria, who trashed claims that the NRM Central Executive Committee cleared Speaker of Parliament Anita Among and her deputy Thomas Tayewa to run unopposed for the respective positions, thereby compelling the party chairman, President Yoweri Museveni, to pronounce himself on the matter. The contest now features 5 candidates, that is Lands State Minister Persis Namuganza, Justice Minister Norbert Mao, Mbale City Woman MP-elect Lydia Wanyoto, and the incumbent Speaker of Parliament Anita Annette Among. We shall always bring you the updates.
Very well indeed. Robert, good morning.
I love the morning to you, Judy.
Your green is telling, but what are you looking at?
Well, there's so much, but of course, first is the joy.
Yes.
The list now the doses have arrived.
Yeah.
Now
Why
you're going to see.
about it?
You know how our colonial masters fought for Africa, scrambled for Africa.
For partition.
Now it is going to happen.
Why?
Because many people would want to have that vaccine. No, it's not a vaccine, sorry. It's a preventative. They would love to take that injection because much as, for example, I would love to take that injection, many people think HIV/AIDS is only through sexual transmission. But some of us give first aid to people. You know, someone has had an accident, you could have a cut, you have people in the medical field. So this will go a long way first in reducing the spread of HIV/AIDS, because if someone cannot contract, if they have taken this injectable, that means they are not going to fall sick and they're not going to spread to another person.
What are they going to do?
Because they have not contracted the virus. Now we are going to reduce on orphans, but I want to appeal to Ugandans, please let this not be a gate pass for you to live reckless lives saying, may I have the I took the injectable.
Do you think it's going to decampaign other efforts that have been aimed at curbing?
But please, we
spread?
also need to know where exactly this is going to be administered from, where the time, all these are very important for Ugandans, because
Very
we don't, clever Ugandans are going to come up.
That's true.
Yes,
That's
that they have these people, Babakuba Amazi.
We don't like then,
Oh wow.
No, I know Uganda.
yeah,
People are going to come up pretending
at a cheaper price.
that they have Lenakapa.
At 100,000 Uganda shillings.
Then someone goes,
Express.
someone goes,
I
gets
know,
certain
right?
things wrong, messes around, falls sick. I mean, I know my country, I know my people.
It's
But,
so absurd at
but
that.
on the other side, away from Lenakapa, now, finally, we are sure we are going to elect or vote for chairpersons LC1 and LC2. Now, these are people who have enjoyed office, I think, for the last 8 years. Every time it was them to have those elections, they were being postponed on grounds that we didn't have money. But yesterday, the Minister for Local Government, Raphael Magezi, came out and said President Museveni emphasized and advised and directed that let all elections be carried out in one electoral cycle.
True.
So these also should be done and dusted. And if you're there, please warm up, get some money, because here you also need money to traverse the village and have some posters.
But one thing for sure is LC1, those elections, LC1 elections always come up with a lot of drama, seeing as we have to line up
Yes.
to vote for our local council chairperson. So that means you have to be ready to either be hated or looked at with a side eye by your neighbor who doesn't support the person you stood behind in that queue. Anyways, on that note, Robert, what do we have on the local scene?
Oh, we have so many stories this morning, but let me begin with issues regarding the economy, trade and bilateral relations. Now, President John Museveni hosted a high-level UK-India Uganda multi-sectoral trade delegation at State House in Entebbe, underscoring the importance of continental economic integration as a pathway to shared global prosperity. The delegation comprised of members of Westminster Africa Business Association, WABA, led by CEO Lawrence Robertson, and the South Asia Chamber of Commerce and Industry, led by the chairman Mahendrish Jadeja. The British High Commissioner to Uganda, His Excellency Lisa Sese, also attended the meeting. Discussions focused on strengthening trade, investment, and manufacturing partnerships among the United Kingdom, India, and Uganda. President Museveni emphasized that sustainable prosperity is built on linking producers to consumers, supported by infrastructure, peace, skills development, and affordable finance. He highlighted Uganda's strategic position as a stable gateway to East Africa and the wider African market under the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, noting access to a domestic market of nearly 50 million people, 300 million in East Africa, 600 million in COMESA, and a continental market of over 1.5 billion people. The president called for accelerated infrastructure development through public-private partnerships and outlined priorities for investment areas, including manufacturing, supported by affordable electricity, low-cost financing through the Uganda Development Bank, and improved transport networks such as regional railway links and oil pipeline infrastructure. The National Resistance Movement has threatened to take disciplinary action on its members who undermine the integrity of the party. The party's Electoral Commission chairperson, Dr. Tango Doi, said some members risk deeming the party and its national chairman as the speakership race heats up. This comes after the decision by the NRM top structure SEC endorsed both Annette Among and Thomas Tayebwa to retain their positions in the 12th Parliament. The NRM party is registering more persons interested in the speakership as the race heats up. So far, the party has an uphill task of regulating members in line with the decision of the Central Executive Committee. It is highly speculated that this pace, if not tamed, could affect cohesion in the NRM party, fueling division. Dr. Tango Doi talks of disciplinary action against party members who undermine its integrity. Meanwhile, the Democratic Party president, also Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Norbert Mao, officially joined the 12th Parliament speakership race after concluding his consultations. The High Court Criminal Division, presided over by Justice Emmanuel Baguma, ordered the prosecution to make full disclosure of the evidence stemmed in the treason and mistreason case against Kiza Besije, Haj Abed Lutare, and Captain Dennis Ola. The court directed that all disclosures be completed by 3rd March this year. The accused persons appeared before Justice Emmanuel Baguma looking calm and normal. The defense team, led by lawyer Martha Karua, informed the court that the prosecution had only made partial disclosure in the matter. Although the court had earlier ordered the prosecution to provide full disclosure by the 21st of January 2026, the defense noted that only one bunch of documents had been availed. The disclosed material reportedly include transcriptions of audio and video recordings as well as witness statements. The defense expressed satisfaction with the prosecution's failure to apply for ECO explained that transcribed to make them accessible to the defense, which process had delayed full disclosure. Court that all required to the defense by the 3rd of March this year. In his ruling, Justice Emmanuel Baguma granted the prosecution additional time and ordered that full disclosure be made by 3rd of March this very year. The judge further directed that the case will resume on the 12th of March this year for scheduling. Coming to the end of our local stories, the Permanent Secretary, Major General David Chomukama, and officials from the Ministry of Agriculture appeared before the Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee to respond to queries arised in the Auditor General's Report 2025. The committee is chaired by Maogola South County Member of Parliament Goreti Namuga. According to the report, the ministry received a warranted budget of 425 billion for foot and mouth disease interventions against an approved budget of 427.6 billion. This funding facilitated the procurement of 50.6 million doses of the foot and mouth disease vaccine, as the Permanent Secretary explained. Chomukama emphasized that the ministry's goal is to eliminate foot and mouth disease across the country. The 2021 Wubos livestock census showed that approximately 44.5 million animals are vulnerable to foot and mouth disease. However, members of the Public Accounts Committee raised concern that out of the 50.6 million doses procured, only 10 million could be accommodated at the National Vaccine Storage Facility in Entebbe. Meanwhile, the ministry is also grappling with domestic arrears amounting to 24 billion shillings. Well, that brings us to the end of our local stories this morning. Let's see what Joan has for us on the international scene.
From the global coverage, swiftly we are beginning off with the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who praised Ukrainians for withstanding 4 years of Russian attacks with immense courage, saying Moscow has failed to break their spirit or when the war it started. Zelensky delivered the remarks yesterday in an address marking the anniversary of Russia's full-scale invasion on February 24, 2022. As Ukraine endures punishing winter attacks on its energy grid and struggles to make progress in peace talks. We have every right to say we have defended our independence. We have not lost our statehood, Zelensky said. Russian President Vladimir Putin has not achieved his goals. He has not broken Ukrainians. He has not won this war. In a show of support, more than a dozen senior European officials, including European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, Finnish President Alexander Stubb, and 7 prime ministers traveled to Ukraine's capital Kyiv to mark the anniversary of the conflict. Moving on, there is a dejected report of Israel soldiers who fired more than 900 bullets at a convoy of clearly marked Palestinian emergency vehicles in Gaza before advancing to kill the surviving aid workers, some of whom were shot execution style at close range last March. A new joint investigation revealed that. The report released on Monday by independent research agency Forensic Architecture and Audio Investigation Group, Earshot, offers the most detailed reconstruction to date of the massacre in Tal as-Sultan, a neighborhood west of Rafah in the southern Gaza Strip on March 23, 2025. 15 aid workers were killed in the attack, including paramedics from the Palestine Red Crescent Society, firefighters from the Palestinian Civil Defense, and a staff member of the United Nations Agency for Palestinian Refugees. The slain aid workers were then buried along with their vehicles. The Israeli military initially claimed the vehicles were uncoordinated and later admitted a professional error. But the forensic analysis paints a different picture: a coordinated ambush, an absence of return fire, and a calculated move to eliminate survivors. Forging forward back to the continent of Africa, specifically the giant of Africa, the nation with a 2+234 code, that is Nigeria. The government there has rejected a media report alleging that it paid a huge ransom to Islamist militant group Boko Haram to secure the release of more than 200 pupils and staff abducted from a Catholic boarding school in November. Information Minister Mohammed Idris described the allegation made by the AFP news agency, quoting intelligence sources, as completely false and baseless and a disservice to the professionalism and integrity of the security forces. He also denied that 2 Boko Haram commanders were freed as part of the deal. In a separate announcement, a presidential spokesman said Police Chief Kayode Egbetokun, a close ally of President Bola Tinubu, has resigned. The spokesman, Bayo Onanuga, said the resignation, a year ahead of the end of Egbetokun's term, was for pressing family considerations. His deputy, Tunji Duso, has been appointed as acting chief at a time when the country faces mounting security pressures. This includes kidnap for ransom, which is big business in parts of Nigeria, with the culprits ranging from Islamist militants, members of gangs known as bandits, and separatists. And that brings us to the end of our international coverage.
All right, thank you very much, John, for that update. Now let's look at what the dailies have, and we're starting off with the New Vision, whose headline is about the local council elections. LC1, LC2 polls set for March. Government earmarks 57 billion for exercise. And in the picture there, Museveni meets high command. 5 declare interest in speaker seat, and education material pass O-level chemistry. Government injects 914 billion in Kenya oil pipeline shares, and Uganda gets first batch of HIV prevention drug. NRM starts building 89 billion shillings headquarters, and government orders varsities on curriculum. Looking at what the Daily Monitor, still in Uganda, has to say, LCs want secret vote. Wonder what my colleagues think on that.
Interesting.
Something we'll be definitely chewing on. But a Makerere week-long graduation kicks off. I can imagine the excitement of the students. And TASO fined 100 million shillings for misdiagnosing man with HIV. This gentleman actually had to use ARVs for 7 years. Anyway, speaker race, what's up? Here is what... all right, moving on. I'll choose to keep that one. Moving on to what the citizen in Tanzania has hope as Tanzania approves HIV prevention and treatment drug. Looks like East Africa is having something on this one. FCC explains new mandate after amendment of completion law. Samia vows stronger modern military. 318.8 billion defense headquarters unveiled. And a quick look at the Daily Nation in Kenya, the Russian mercenary. That's the headline there. And Sifuna opened alliance with United Opposition, revealed top 10 countless, revealed his top 10 counties in job creation. All of that in the Daily Nation. Get yourself a copy of any of the dailies and dig deeper into the information in there. For now, let's have a short break. We are proudly brought to you by the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries. When we get back, we are talking about your local council chairperson, 0709-6025-9 to be part of the conversation by text or WhatsApp. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Of March this very year, the judge further directed that the case will resume on the 12th of March this year for scheduling. Coming to the end of our local stories, the Permanent Secretary, Major General David Chomukama, and officials from the Ministry of Agriculture appeared before the Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee to respond to queries arised in the Auditor General's Report 2025. The committee is chaired by Maogola South County Member of Parliament Goreti Namuga. According to the report, the ministry received a warranted budget of 425 billion for foot and mouth disease interventions against an approved budget of 427.6 billion. This funding facilitated the procurement of 50.6 million doses of the foot and mouth disease vaccine, as the Permanent Secretary explained. Chomukama emphasized that the ministry's goal is to eliminate foot and mouth disease across the country. The 2021 Wubos livestock census showed that approximately 44.5 million animals are vulnerable to foot and mouth disease. However, members of the Public Accounts Committee raised concern that out of the 50.6 million doses procured, only 10 million could be accommodated at the National Vaccine Storage Facility in Entebbe. Meanwhile, the ministry is also grappling with domestic arrears amounting to 24 billion shillings. Well, that brings us to the end of our local stories this morning. Let's see what Joan has for us on the international scene.
From the global coverage, as swiftly we are beginning off with the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who praised Ukrainians for withstanding 4 years of Russian attacks with immense courage, saying Moscow has failed to break their spirit or win the war it started. Zelensky delivered the remarks yesterday in an address marking the anniversary of Russia's full-scale invasion on February 24, 2022. As Ukraine endures punishing winter attacks on its energy grid and struggles to make progress in peace talks. We have every right to say we have defended our independence. We have not lost our statehood, Zelensky said. Russian President Vladimir Putin has not achieved his goals. He has not broken Ukrainians. He has not won this war. In a show of support, more than a dozen senior European officials, including European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, Finnish President Alexander Stubb, and 7 prime ministers traveled to Ukraine's capital Kyiv to mark the anniversary of the conflict. Moving on, there is a dejected report of Israel soldiers who fired more than 900 bullets at a convoy of clearly marked Palestinian emergency vehicles in Gaza before advancing to kill the surviving aid workers, some of whom were shot execution style at close range last March. A new joint investigation revealed that The report released on Monday by independent research agency Forensic Architecture and Audio Investigation Group, Earshot, offers the most detailed reconstruction to date of the massacre in Tal as-Sultan, a neighborhood west of Rafah in the southern Gaza Strip on March 23, 2025. 15 aid workers were killed in the attack, including paramedics from the Palestine Red Crescent Society, firefighters from the Palestinian Civil Defense, and a staff member of the United Nations Agency for Palestinian Refugees. The slain aid workers were then buried along with their vehicles. The Israeli military...
The MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000. Or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
My question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax? How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
Commissioner General, to invest in taxation. When people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo, clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790 141 887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Booza Commissioner.
Good morning, Uganda. Thank you so much for choosing UBC TV this morning. It's about 8 minutes after 7 a.m. If you started the show with us at 6:30, thank you so much. And if you are just joining in, you're welcome. And thank you for choosing UBC TV. This morning, like I said, we are talking about your LC1 chairperson. Do you even know who your LC1 chairperson is? Have you ever interacted with them? Do you know their name? How have they treated you? How has their tenure been as your leader at the village you reside? Be part of the conversation. 0709602592. Relevance of LC1 chairpersons. Is it relevant that we still vote for them? My name is Julie F. Nataba with Robert Kirabonyo-Nyintono and Joan Murunje. I'll start with Joan. Is it relevant that we vote for these people? Or we're wasting our time?
Absolutely, it is relevant to vote for these local leaders because before we go to the biggest office of the president, the first time people who deal with the community and their issues are the LC1 chair persons, even before we go to LC2, LC3, LC district chairpersons. So it is really relevant to vote for these people. One, for security and order, because they act as a link. You know, before the GISOs and DISOs, it stems down from the chairpersons. That is why you find that if someone is being accused of some wrongdoing, they are taken back to their villages or to their places where they stay. And the first person of contact is the chairperson, LC1 chairperson. Do you know this person? Yes or no? How long has this person been your resident or in your community? So for security reasons, it is really relevant. It's very crucial for having or to vote for these LC1 chairpersons because they do register residents. They know who is in their community. They know who has left. They know intruders and they know what is happening in their communities that an MP might not be knowing or who could just receive a secondary information or even misinformation. So voting for chairpersons is very vital in Uganda, and they also act as a link between the communities and the government because they do operate on a decentralized system structure of leadership at the stages. For local council, for local government, I think it operates on a 5-tier structure. That is LC1, LC2, LC3, LC4, and the district chairperson who is the LC5 still. And without this link of the LC1 chairperson to the district chairperson, we may not be able to receive the necessary intelligence if it is in security, or the necessary assistance, or what the community desires, or what can be done in the community for us to have better standards of living within that area that may not be easily noticed by the people in higher offices. Could be maybe the president himself or even the ministers. So the chairpersons are very, very vital. And they also hope in, I would call them village courts. Oh, okay, let me just refer to them as community committees. That for these petty crimes, for example, someone has abused my child. Imagine with the backlog of cases we have in Uganda, we add on these petty cases of chicken thief. Someone has beaten my child. That like this simple beating. You know, I was told way back in the African Traditional Society, wherever, especially in the central region, if you would pass an elder without greeting them, they had a right to beat you. Exactly. So
except
you can imagine
that doesn't work in this day and age.
Yeah, the High Court they are having cases of such scenarios. So they hope in intermediating between such families that are having cases that may just be a wastage of time to the Court of Appeal and High Court. And also they do hope in accountability, because if we had these regular elections, these LC1 chairpersons, I do hope so, they remain accountable to their constituencies or to their places of leadership, because, you know, if you know you will want to be voted into power again, your actions might not be the same as someone who is going to take 8 years to be voted into power, or someone who is even not voted for at all. So it's really vital to vote or to hold elections for LC1 chairperson?
Well, there are actually areas in Uganda whose LC1 has been the LC1, clearly, since donkey years. But indeed, looking into some of those stories, let me come to someone who has actually been a leader. I don't know if you still are, but as far as I know,
LC1.
not so sure of the position, but at least he's very active in leading village leadership. And I'd love to hear from you, Robert. Is it still relevant that we vote for local council leaders?
Well, I must say first I have a bias because, yes, I'm still a leader. That is much India Mubarak. Where I speak for that LC. Now, an office being in a place with so much responsibilities, but not equipped, may make it somehow irrelevant.
Okay.
Two, there are other offices that have not understood the value of LC1s. Because let's look at what the law says. Local Council 1, those are the LC1s, in Uganda is the lowest critical village level administrative unit responsible for grassroots governance. That is one. Two, security. That is two. Isn't that big also? Dispute resolution. That is three. Then we go to key roles, include maintaining law and order. Look at that very big law. Registering residents, very important in the day and age of terrorism. Registering residents. Supporting government projects and acting as a vital link between the community and higher government structures. Now you've forgotten mobilization. That if you're on these villages, these days we have megaphones, and in some places we have village radios. Though some rich people sometimes act very hopeless, I must say, when they come into these communities. And these loudspeakers mounted maybe at the LC office or someone where we can pass our announcements. Because I know of a certain area that is Katale Busaula, there was a man called Karuma. He's called Karuma. So he had put this radio, look, I call them Bizindaru. And people would have announcements. People would know even if it is insecurity, someone, thieves have attacked him because it was within his house. He would just go and announce members, we have thugs in the area, they are breaking into so-and-so's home, gather. Now some lawyer allegedly came, I've forgotten his name. And every time the man would mount, he would use either come, confiscate, threaten. It was very good for mobilization. Now we are talking about Lenakapaville. Yeah. Now if it has come, when we talk about during COVID times, anything, LCs support government programs and mobilize communities. So they are very, very relevant. Now, also, there is nowhere you're going to get a bank loan. To show you a bank loan, and you don't have a letter from your LC. You can't even get a passport, national ID, any government body. You need a letter. I know even of a place of work where they told workers to go and have letters from their chairperson's LC1. Now, previously, before so much came in, you could not even shift to a new place, and you didn't have a recommendation from the LC where you're coming from. And that is why we were able to fight crime in those days. Because if you had a bad record, you would not get that letter.
Yes, that's
so true. You wouldn't come into this area. You would not purchase land. And up to today, I want to urge people, some of you use lawyers, but when you go in court and they ask, did you do due diligence? You're like, yes, I used my lawyers. Lawyers don't know that area very well.
It's the chairperson.
But the chairperson, LC1, like you rightly said, I come from an area where I'm born. The chairperson, LC1, I think, has spent the last 30 years as the chairperson, LC1. I don't know how he manages to win again. Now it is by lining up, but the man has been there for the last 30 years. Now that means he knows every corner of the village. and can tell you that land belonged to Chirabo. He died and left it to his son Gavi. Then Gavi sold, you know, he knows, and he will tell you, maybe even on this English word for the word, not last funeral rite, Orumbe.
The last funeral rite.
Which is the, I think the last.
It's the last funeral rite?
Last funeral rite,
Okay,
yeah.
so I had it right. Now, maybe even he was invited, he saw the hair, you know, so he knows the entire family,
Right.
and he can tell you, no, 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 that son or that daughter, Joan, is conniving with so and so to steal.
Right. Now, pardon me, Robert, in that same spirit, are LC1s playing their role or they are abusing their power?
It is two-way. First, I want to begin with playing their role. LC1 chairpersons are still mobilizing, are still signing their role, recommending, even if you want to join the armed forces. They are still that paperwork of pending signature. They are still effectively doing it. Many of them are still into security. I think if you know chairman, anything you rush to the chairman, even before you go to police. They are still availing themselves. No wonder some of them, when you reach to certain villages, you see a very developed area, but when the chairperson LC1 comes out, you can faint. Reason being, you need to be available. Therefore, you need someone, usually a number of them are jobless people, because you'll find the chairman, he's there to sign when you're selling a cow. No matter what time you sell your cow, the chairperson will be there. So you ask if they had some of them, they end up finding this as a job because it requires them to be there full time. They are still settling complaints. In my LC, we have a day where even we know, we call it chitawus. You come at, you know, there's that village court sits, and we listen to a number of issues. They are still giving intelligence information. By the way, if you didn't know, one of the people that are very critical in giving intelligence information are the chairmen on your village. Because for them, they know how fast and where to deliver it. Now I go to where they have failed or abused their officers. Two, one, extortion. These people you see have come up with ways of obtaining money. Someone wants to get a loan. Why would you ask for 50,000? There is, in education, a child you have to sign for them. Why do you ask for 30,000? Are you buying a ream of paper?
Even a letter, a recommendation letter.
A recommendation letter. Why would you ask? When it comes to land, if there is any office, much as I accredited them. Now, because they know so much, they also use the knowing. If you find a bad LC1,
but Robert,
this person will know how to play in terms of land cases.
Interesting.
But also, Judy, I want to say this.
Yes.
Sometimes also, now being a member of this fraternity,
Right.
because they have not been funded, you don't blame them. For example, we pay an office 300,000
Per month.
per month because the chairman was tired of people entering his house all the time, coming to his home, using his sitting room. You can't even get bed bugs.
That's true.
You don't have privacy. Your children are doing homework, then there's someone, people are quarreling in there. So you rent an office. The cheapest is 300,000. Now you have stationery. You must have a computer or something to keep records.
Those are the challenges, some of the challenges they're facing.
But this is an office. You don't have a monthly pay. You get 120,000 a year. If you're lucky, it
What
comes
has
in.
been the fee? Because I understand that there was a promise of it
The
being
fee has
increased.
been 120,000
10,000 per month.
10,000 per month.
10,000 per
Yeah.
month.
That only goes to the chairman, but you have an executive, you know?
And Robert,
They are
that is
working
not
with
even
you.
salary. It is just like an ex gratia.
And it's not
Something-
salary.
Yeah, it's something.
Now
in
there is
favor
this
to
that
you.
some money in the local area collected goes back, that money
Such an
doesn't come.
allowance.
Chairman's
Now-
bag.
Now at the end of the day, you go for 10%.
Yeah.
At the end of the
That is
day,
even illegal.
that is, at the end of the day, you begin knowing, that plot has been abandoned for the last 20 years.
So in a way,
You look
from
for-
what you're saying,
Yes, to see how best.
from what is
And it's
available.
a full-time job. That's why
It
men are
is.
are jobless.
Yes.
Because you require the man to be the chairman at any minute. So if he forsakes other things he's supposed to do, or people that would be potential and responsible cannot. When you stand there, ask about chairman, you want to be a chairman, but you have a job, you're always busy.
0709602592. Share your opinion, your experience at that with your local council chairperson. You are watching The Real on Good Morning Uganda here at UBC TV, and we're wondering on the relevance of LC1 chairpersons. As we begin to roll this out,
But Julie, I have a question for Joanne,
Yes, please.
if you may allow me.
Please.
Joanne, what is the name of your LC1 chairperson?
Oh my gosh, I don't know why it always skips my mind, but I've been there, I think, about thrice. That is how I got to know that we need to pay for the
The
recommendation
question
letter.
was simple.
Yes.
What is the name?
She has been there, she just doesn't
I
remember
don't
the name.
remember the name. I think it's called K something.
Because these elites don't value. They never turn up for village council meetings.
That's true.
Right.
I've never been in a
They
village
never
council.
treasure these LC ones
We do.
because they think they know people, big people, they know police
They
officers.
They know those who are
Hey,
above
is that
LC1
person,
chairperson.
Robert? Is that person?
Let's close this.
Where you where am I
No,
getting
I just
straight?
use
All right,
you
let's close this,
as
but allow me read
a
some of the
specimen.
comments that come from the viewer on the other side.
Yeah, have
And the
connections.
viewer says, this is Enoch who says, hi, it's very good to vote for them, but let voting be a good one. In which way do you mean? Would be lovely to know. And someone just sent a full stop.
This one has no region. We are going to line up.
Hi, Julie. Thank you for the show. This is Teacher Edward from Buyende District. Yes, it is relevant to have them because they can reduce on the high crime rate in the area, whereby new people in the village are advised to first see him before they settle into the village. Good morning,
Today
Uganda.
that ended.
I
People
know.
just come in
People
your
just
village.
come and stay.
You see cars, you see.
By
and
the
you
way,
ask,
yeah.
where does that one stop?
Anyways, one final comment. Good morning, Uganda. LC1 chairperson is actually the real governing office of the government because he's directly involved in the community and public affairs, and all government programs start with LC1, so they are the backbone of the government. In fact, they should be well paid and taken care of by the government. Edson Mohanji in Entebbe, you close us off on this particular topic. Looking forward to when we even have experts from the local government speaking
But
into
Julie,
this particular matter.
There is something that interested me about the LC1, that government is having efforts to digitize LC1 letters. And I imagine, how are these people educated with?
And most of them are not even educated for that. Anyways, up next is GMU Tourism Express. And John will be back for the business desk. And I'll be
Definitely.
back for the agenda. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Zakia Lucky and thank you for waking up with us this morning. We are dedicating this one to the Muslims. The Muslims are going through their fasting period called Ramadan, and millions of them are observing this one. But while fasting is happening during that day, one of the most crucial moments is happening in the evening, which is breaking the fast, and that is known as iftar. Now, in partnership with Kebab House Turkish Restaurant, we are going to be speaking with Mr. Samed, who is going to be telling us how fasting is relevant or connects to faith, connects to tourism, and connects also to hospitality. This is why we're having the show, and he's also going to be telling us how Ramadan does connect, especially this restaurant being one of the most authentic restaurants that does produce Turkish cuisines. He's going to still tell us how it connects to culinary tourism. Mr. Samed, we're happy to have you on the show this morning.
Thank you very much.
Yes, please introduce yourself to the viewers.
My name is Muharrem Samet Kalaysi. I am Turkish from Istanbul. I was born in Istanbul, raised in Istanbul, lived in Europe a bit. Then I came back to my country to complete the education. I worked with my family like around 2 years. We are one of the biggest family in shoe market in Turkey. So I worked with my family 2 years. Then after that I decided to prove something to myself alone. Then in 2011 I came to South Sudan to work as a procurement manager in a road construction company. In 2012 I started doing my own business until 2017. In 2017 we shifted here as a family. From 2017 up to now I'm here. I'm in Uganda. I'm the owner of Kebab House. Also, I'm a founder of an NGO in Uganda.
Okay.
This is what we do here.
Amazing. And thank you for choosing Uganda.
Thank you. Welcome.
Yes, as we know, the Ramadan period is ongoing. Please take us through what breaking the fast means to Ramadan.
Before breaking the fast, let me explain what does the fasting means for us. What fasting means for us, we pause our materialistic sides of ourselves. And we let our body, our soul, to speak louder, more and more. So when we are fasting, we focus on, we stop eating, we stop drinking, as you know, but we start feeding our soul by praying, by reading, by deep thinking. We do all those things to evaluate ourselves, how we are doing in life, our deeds, against our families, against our relatives, our siblings, our neighbors, to our country. Then when the breakfasting time comes, it is a kind of effort to us. The whole day, like around 12 hours, we are hungry. Then it is rewarding us a bit. Also getting energy for us for the night prayers. For the night prayers. So this is what it means to me and to most of Muslim people.
I like that you explained the significance of the fasting and what breaking the fast does mean. Breaking the fast, what time is this usually done?
Around 7. It starts around 5:45 right now, and it is done, the breakfasting time, it is around 5 past 7.
Okay, so now walk us through how breaking the fast is, what the iftar meal looks like when you're breaking the fast.
First, we start with sweet things, either juice, dates, or fruits. To balance our sugar level at first. Then we take some starters, like sambusa, some bread. Also, we have Turkish pizza at our kebab house. We have Turkish pizza. After we take all of them, we pause it. We pause breakfasting. Then we go for praying. Then we come. Then we have our main course. This is how it looks like.
Okay, I cannot wait to see one when you are having it displayed. Yes. So I'm wondering, this is the time where you sit down together as family and as community when you are breaking the fast. How does that create bond?
Actually, it is not only Ramadan. We create these bonds. In Islamic culture, how we say the dinner, it is a family gathering in a day,
yes,
every day. So when we are gathered, we talk about the day, how it passed, how they feel, the problems. So it's a kind of family meeting daily. So there is no difference. The difference when in Ramadan, this gathering expands. We involve our siblings, our relatives, our elder people, our neighbors, and plus if you are able to share your meal with the needy people, we share our iftar with needy people. Right now, as Kalaisi family, in a rural area in Uganda, we share our iftar with 500 people. Every day we cook. I have a brother who is in a rural area, and tomorrow morning I'm going to also be moving there. Every day, since in the last 5 years, every day we cook minimum for 500 people.
Wow, that's amazing. So I'm wondering, for a business perspective, as the CEO of Kebab, how does the Ramadan season impact? How does the Ramadan season impact the business?
In the first week, normally people, what we observe in Uganda, people, they are invited by their families. They don't go to restaurants to break their fasting. Then in the second week, they start going to restaurants for their siblings or for their friends, normally friends, because the blood side, they do this in the home. They break fasting at home. But with their friends, close friends or distant friends, they break fasting at restaurants. And they start this in the middle of the second week or at the end of the second week. So what we do normally, it contributes us a lot economically, but we have to shift our timetable. Normally we start working here at 8 a.m. Then in Ramadan time we start around 9:30, 10 a.m. Then we close around 10:30 p.m. But because of Ramadan we shift it a bit. Also 11:30 p.m. we are closing. So this is how it impacts to us.
Wow, so have you seen an increase in cash flow when it comes to within this season?
End of the second week.
Yeah.
It starts flowing, increasing.
Okay, so how do you balance the spiritual demands with the commercial branding?
Okay. You ask for Ramadan, but actually it is not only for Ramadan.
Okay, generally.
Generally, let us say generally. What we believe, if we try to follow the Quranic verses, what we believe, when you have a spiritual side, the money shouldn't be in your heart and in your soul. It should be either in your pocket or in your bank account. Let us say when the ferry moves on the sea, as much as the water does not enter inside, the ferry can go, isn't it? Smoothly. But when it started coming inside, the ferry will start sinking.
Yes.
When the money starts coming to your heart, your life will be collapsed.
Okay.
But if you just carry it in your pocket and in your bank account, so your spiritual demands is not affected. When you know when to spend for your family, when you know when to spend for needy people, when you know when to spend on yourself.
Yeah.
But if you are a mean, you will not spend anything even for yourself.
Yeah.
When you put the money in your heart, the financial, materialistic things in your heart and in your spirit, removing your money will be killing you. So this is how I differentiate. So for me or for many Muslim people, it doesn't matter. Either it is Ramadan or not. As much as you carry your money in your pocket, you are not affected. Your spiritual way is not affected.
I like how you explained it and saying generally, but I'm still curious. During the Ramadan period, does it require a special menu for that period?
In the market now, our competitors, we have fixed menu normally with some varieties, okay, with some varieties, because in a certain time, a crowd is coming. So when people order different meals, it is very hard to serve on time. So what we do in hospitality business, in special time like Ramadan time, Eid time, Valentine time, Christmas time, or New Year time, we have fixed menus to face the demands quickly, on time, without any complaint. So what we do, how they do the restaurants, we have the fixed menu with different, like 3 or 4 varieties. And as kebab house, we have the same. We have, you will see it after that, you will see it, we have a fixed menu, but main course, we have 4 different varieties. You can choose according to your taste. According to your taste, according to your pleasure. Normally, this is how they do it in the hospitality business.
Okay, so how is this period for you a tourism experience? How would you explain it?
Right now in Uganda, like we cook, but how we can make it as a tourism experience.
Yes.
In church, you call it gospel.
Okay.
In mosque or in Muslim world, we call it nashid. Okay? This religious music. If we can combine the food and the religious music, it will be a different culture, or it will be a religious experience for Ugandan people, or also for foreigners. They will taste the iftar in Ramadan in a different way in Uganda. So if we can make it this year, we will say Alhamdulillah. But if we fail, next year we will definitely make it. And after us, also the other restaurants will be doing the same. How some entertainment places, they have live music and they follow each other, they have their own days. Also, let us say these halal restaurants or these restaurants who cooks for iftar. When they have this, one of them they start, the others they will follow.
Yeah.
Then another thing I can advise people to avoid the fast food. we say in hospitality business, eat healthy food, live longer. Live longer. In business wise, I can humbly, I can advise people. We are not sure, everyone, for example, probably you are single, I am married. When you have children, when you have your own family, this is not our guarantee when I die, it is not guaranteed to leave a good wealth to my family. But honesty, dignity, my pure name, that is in my hands. So what I can advise people, or normally I advise my own people, to be honest. Honesty must be their first priority, even in business. They shouldn't focus on short-term benefits, because normal short-term benefits has dirty benefits. Get small benefits, but long-term. In the long term, in the long run, as Zakia or as Summit or as Kebab House, you will have a good brand. And you will have a benefit for lifetime. Not for 1 year, not for 2 years, not for a few months, for lifetime, which is better.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Good morning once again. Welcome back from Tourism Express, that is proudly sponsored by Uganda Tourism Board. It is now the moment for our economic press. And yesterday we had an exclusive discussion with Mark Moyobo, CEO NCBA Bank Uganda, about shifting capital from consumption lending to production sectors. Now today we have a continuation of our previous discussion in the business world. To remind you, surveys carried out reflect that many small entrepreneurs struggle to access capital due to the lack of substantial collateral to secure sufficient credit from financial institutions. Let's have a deeper insight into this with Wadolo Arnold Mark.
Today, in the second part of the exclusive interview with Mark Moyobo, the NCBA Bank Uganda CEO, we delve deeper on how entrepreneurs can leverage positive cash flows for collateral-free loans to grow small trades into medium or large-scale enterprises. Is it possible? Let's find out.
So if you are distributing for one of the manufacturers and you actually have been hiring either tuk-tuks or you have been hiring pickup vehicles, and now you want to actually own your own vehicle, we actually look at your business, look at your cash flows, provided the cash flows are actually coming into the bank, then we can be able to structure the product. The second one, which is a very important one on the small and medium one, is our More Cash solution. So More Cash solution is where we actually lend on the phone, partnering with MTN, and we have close to 10 million customers. Out of those 10 million customers, about 4.5 million of them are actually active borrowers. And we don't know, some of these customers we actually don't know. We depend on the KYC that the MNOs actually have. So you borrow on the phone, you're able to get a loan on the phone, and based on your ability to pay based on your savings, based on the cash flows that are actually going through the phone, we're able to even increase the limits. So we have people in Nakasero market, these vendors who wake up very early in the morning, and we recognize that wake up early in the morning, buy produce when it comes in, 5 or 4 a.m., buy produce using our facilities. At the end of the day, they have sold all those produce. They're able to pay back the loan that they've received on the phone, and that cycle continues.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you mentioned some few critical things that I want to touch on a little bit. Cash flows. How long are you talking? Are you looking at a financial year of cash flows or 3 months? Because the government recently gave a waiver, for some new businesses entering the market. And I was wondering if a business was about what, 4 or 5 months and they have a cash flow.
Yeah.
Are they, candidates for an NCBA product? And then also you mentioned the more cash. Okay. What are the loan limits? If a good borrower, you're a good borrower, how much? What's the threshold like NCBA can give me?
So I'll start with the first one. If you have been operating for, let's say, 5 months, the most important thing, and this is where some of the SMEs and MSMEs actually get it wrong, is that they don't have data. So you have a very good business. And when you sell, whatever you have sold, you keep it in your drawer, yeah? Or you keep it below your mattress, and you cannot actually track these cash flows. And that is why we encourage people to actually use the banking system. So at least where you're able to have a digit along your name. So if you actually have certain funds that are actually coming in, you're able to trace them.
Okay.
The problem that I see, and this is around education, and that is something else I'm going to come to, that we need to enlighten our customers. In that the more you actually show that you're actually selling and whatever, I'm able to go back and say that, okay, Mark, this is what you have been selling in the past five months. You have been taking it through the financial system, and I'm able to then see a trend that gives me comfort that a certain customer, I can actually lend to that customer.
Okay.
The second one is on the more cash, and we don't have any limits. It is based on so we run algorithms where we look at your saving, your deposits, your amount of money that you're actually putting on the account, and based on that, we are able to increase the limits. That is where financial inclusion comes in. Yeah, on average, people borrow between 2 million and 5 million shillings.
Okay.
There are people who are even above that, who actually are engaged in meaningful business.
Could this money go even up to 10 million?
Yes, it depends on how much you actually are able to show that this is actually going through the system.
Awesome. All right, then it takes me to the other question. How can structured financial products like asset financing, which NCBA is big on, or operating leases specifically support industrialization and value addition in Uganda? What are your thoughts on that?
Very good question, and that is certainly at the fore of what we do every day. Asset finance, we are the home of asset finance in Uganda, in East Africa. Last year, we were recognized as the #1 bank as far as asset finance is concerned, because of the product development we have actually put into asset finance. So to your point, asset finance, like I mentioned, collateral is a big issue that stops most of the customers from actually growing. Using that very equipment, if we use that very equipment to actually take it as security, we then get rid of the challenge that most customers would actually have around collateral and expansion. Secondly, operating lease is where so there are two kinds of leases. There is the finance lease, where during the period we actually own the asset. At the end of the asset, you get to own it. But there is certain equipment where you just want to use it for a specific period of time. So for instance, vehicles, computers, and at the end of it, you really don't want to have the vehicle and have the residual risk.
Yeah.
So that is the operating lease that we actually, it is almost like hire purchase, where you just come and hire the vehicle. You drive it, all the service and whatever is included in the package, and all you have got to do is to pay an amount. The other one, as far as structured financing is concerned, is around the trade finance solutions. And one of them that we have just rolled out last year is around the floor plan.
Okay, floor plan.
So, floor plan.
Okay.
So, you are a vendor. You import vehicles or machinery. You have a challenge around being able to bring in, because when you're importing that equipment or vehicles, it is holding your cash flows.
It is.
It is holding your working capital, because until that vehicle comes here and you sell it, that is when that cash flow is released. Yeah. But what we do is that we come in and say, okay, you are buying from a manufacturer, let's say in China or Japan. You have a track record with them. You bring in, let's say, 10 or 15 units. We are able to provide you with a trade facility. Okay? That trade facility, we pay it to the manufacturer in China or in Japan. That vehicle or equipment is ours all the way from China up to your floor here. And that's why we call it a floor plan. Up to your floor here. And once you sell that equipment to a customer, that is when you actually you release the cash flow.
You release it.
You get me?
Yeah.
So most vendors, most people who are importers of machinery have that problem, because you bring in, you hear stories of you brought things, they have taken 3 months to get here, they get to the shop floor, they remain there for 6 to 9 months, they have not been sold. That is holding up your capital.
Yeah.
But we can be able to really release it from you from the onset without having an impact to your cash flows.
Okay. So the last one I would come to say, we have less than 15 years to, Vision 2040.
Yes.
That's when this current structure of the development plans is seeing, at least thus far. What is the $1 million question that we really need to answer today? I know we've discussed and touched the different aspects, but what is that $1 million question that we must answer today, especially from the aspect of financing?
So I think this has been handled very well, and I don't think it's a question. For me, I would think that it is how we push it. I think it needs a lot of involvement, because tenfold growth in 15 years is not a small.
14 actually.
Yeah, 14 years. It's not a small thing to actually achieve. It is actually significant. But if everybody actually gets involved in understanding that this is a significant milestone that we have got to achieve. So the banking sector, the regulation sector, all key players within the economy, if they actually come together to actually ensure that we are able to push in the same direction, then I don't see any reason why we cannot be able to achieve it. So as the banking fraternity through the Uganda Bankers Association, we have had significant discussions with we've had important discussions with the Ministry of Finance. We have a plan where, as far as the Uganda Bankers Association can be able to contribute to this tenfold growth. We have discussed this with Bank of Uganda as our regulator, and discussions are actually ongoing. It is something that we are quite excited about as far as the banking sector is concerned, and also NCBA Uganda, because some of those sectors that are actually being identified are sectors that we are very good at. Okay, agriculture, processing, tourism, manufacturing, we are actually very good at that. So for me, it is exciting. We are happy to be part and parcel of this tenfold growth, and we will continue to push as much as possible. We also need the development partners to actually come in and recognize that that this is something that we are quite committed to.
Okay.
Yes.
By now, you know that it is possible to access collateral-free capital for your enterprise. So take advantage of all these capital offers on the market to scale your business and join the big leagues as Uganda targets for upper middle income status at 2040. This brings us to the end of our Good Morning Uganda business exclusive interview. I'm Wadulo Arnold Mark, and back to you, John.
Thank you, Mark, for those deep insights. We look forward to more perspectives from various economists on how to catalyze Uganda's economy to the $500 billion GDP mark. Let's now look at your money and how it is working against the other currencies as of 24th February 2026 by Bank of Uganda. Starting off with the US dollar that bought at 3,585.59 and sold at 3,595.59. By midday, the dollar buying rate was at 3,580.68 and sold at 3,590.68. By close of business, the dollar bought at 3,578.32 and sold at 3,588.32, whereas the Great British Pound bought off at 4,825.36 and sold at 4,839.92. The euro there bought at 4,213.82 and sold at 4,226.32. The Kenyan shilling bought at 27.71 and sold at 27.83, whereas the Tanzanian shilling bought at 1.38 and sold at 1.41. And the South African rand bought at 223.30 and sold off at 224.01. And do not forget, there is a planned Womeme shutdown in the areas of Entebbe town, Chichitoro, Chigungu Airport Road, Bugonga, Lunyo, Lugonjo, Banga, and of course Chitara, Nkumba, Kasen, all those areas. It is a planned shutdown from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. today. Good morning. Coming up is the agenda with Julie.
Pick of the day on UBC.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
Was brought to you by...
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, you can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000. Or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily, or use the MyMTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules Plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Every Wednesday, live in our studios in the heart of Kampala.
We have to change the political culture in this country, really. Who has bewitched Ugandans?
I want to assure you, as government, we shall do whatever it takes to ensure that Ugandans are safe.
We have conversations that have analysis, explanation.
This law society, this union of theirs, because they want a job everywhere, they want to be this, they want to be that, they want... No. We know it's a union.
You cannot be making a road, bitumen grade 1, in Congo for 5 billion.
But not every truth is fact, and not every fact is truth.
The argument that the General Court Martial is responsible for peace and stability is without basis, either in law or in fact.
We have been told how Napoleon was a great orator. Now, Napoleon cannot help me get food. They told me combine harvesters in Saskatchewan. I don't know where Saskatchewan is. This is a geographer we taught. Instead of teaching me how to preserve Mabera forest, they're teaching me about Rhineland. This is a problem we got. We cannot run away from it.
Right now, you hear very disgusting stories of members of parliament. Instead of discussing the details of loans, they ask for their cuts.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
All on your public broadcaster, UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Our program of poverty eradication is a must. We want everybody to be involved.
Through the parish development model, Ugandans are starting small but impactful projects to improve their livelihoods.
When we give 1 million, we know it's not enough to do many things, but it's a starting point.
I'm a PDM beneficiary, a farmer. Your Excellency, I was given 1 million Uganda shillings from Kobil Kawo PDM Sacco. Your Excellency, I got 20 bunches from my small piece of land sold, got 400,000, put in the PDM farm, Your Excellency, in the PDM money, Your Excellency, I bought a cow of 1,400,000.
In 1 year, 100 families in the parish you get. In 5 years, 500 families would have got.
We were the first people to receive money from Nakapiriprit. I received $1 million. I rented 4 acres of land and I was able to harvest 14 bags.
So really this 1 million is enabling somebody to start something. Yes, and we don't want to give too much money to one person because we have got very many people to cover.
The parish development model empowers the people, focusing on lifting up the masses and creating opportunities that ensure prosperity for all. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Ginshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
My question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax? How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
Commissioner General, to invest in taxation, when people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo, clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Booza Commissioner.
Before I joined the Emioga program, I was ignorant about income generating scheme. I was financially poor, but through Emioga, when I was elected to become the secretary of the circle, I started gaining skills and knowledge on financial management. When we received the money, I borrowed $2,700,000. With that money, I was able to buy 2 cows. Some balance, I was able to improve on my citrus because it was affected so badly. Part of it, I put it on poultry because I knew that poultry is another place that I can invest money. Because poultry has a quick return. We sell it at any time. Before, the orange was really affected by the virus, and I was not able to spray. But when I got the money, I focused on it, had to get labor to help me soften the trees, spray, remove the sick one, and bury. So when I did that, there was improvement in the tree. It was no longer getting those diseases. But the first time I got the good yield, that made me get $2,600,000. That was between February and March. And I continued getting up to now. There's continuous harvest. If it was not through Emioga support to improve on it, I wouldn't have got that money. In my circle, I have 17 associations, and I have a total of 117 members. So being women entrepreneurs, we have created other activities that can earn us income, like drying eggplants and packaging. We have also managed to have cassava chips. That's the high quality. Packet can be milled and then also mixed with cowpea flour to make bagia that can be packed for children for school. We also have sodium bicarbonate, abalang, People have been just neglecting those things, but in the community, if you don't have, you cannot prepare a magira. We have also initiated that, putting it in the box, then also labeling or branding. It fetches us money, daily income. We have different products made from different associations, but all, when we meet, we advise one another and we visit one another to see how each association works. There are those who do piggery, some do poultry, some do the sales of clothes. Their lives have changed because before, some of them were not doing any business. But when this seed capital came, that's when they started thinking of what to do. And when we meet, we always encourage. Being a woman, you need to have money. You need to have an activity that you do to fetch you what? Money. After me clearing the first loan, I got another loan, still to put on more on poultry and also saving on other investments so that I get more money. But I found that I was improving, life was becoming cheap, and from there, as I was getting from the orange sales, we wanted to construct a rental place for investing or to sustain our income generating activity. That's when we constructed the house, and we're still continuing, but we're left with a few areas to finish. And our stay in the family is very good. We no longer have conflicts. I'm peaceful with my husband. We plan together. Life has improved. We can get money at any time. Diet has improved. I passed through hardship, getting money. For a month, you would not handle 10,000, but now a week is too much. So I send my thanks to the President of Uganda for having thought of Emyoga, an initiative for job creation and wealth. Indeed, in my circle, women have become beautiful, they have become knowledgeable, they have become exposed. Being the secretary of the circle, it has also given me an opportunity. I'm also secretary to our Muslim Council. I'm the only woman who is the secretary, and I'm with the men. So that makes me happy too.
The circle started 5 years back with 15 members who were part of the executive, and we managed to use the same 15 members to mobilize the youth and come in to make the 16 associations. So each member took a thought of gathering, mobilizing the 15 people to make associations. So the circle was established. We happened to have 229 members that qualified for 30 millions, which we got in 2021. We used the 30 millions from the presidential initiative to buy the 6 motorcycles, which was a small number to benefit the 229 members, but we managed to use it. The 6 boda helped us to go under saving culture. We managed to group our members into 15-15 for saving culture. So the saving culture is 15 groups. They could get 12,000 per day, which 12,000 at the end of the month manages to buy 1 motorcycle. That 1 motorcycle is shared among the 15, so they vote who to take it. The 15 kept on until the 15 months. Every member had to get 1 motorcycle with saving culture. As I say, we managed to get 84 motorcycles from today's report. On daily, a rider, you move Kawempe, Nakawaru, Makinde, Kampala Metropolitan, And at the end of the day, you have 50,000. That one, we call it average day. There is a time you make 100, that is, we call it the golden day. So most of our members came without anything to use or to support their family. So we helped them by giving them the border as one of the job opportunity the SACCO is offering to the community.
Tuso kwebaza President Museveni olw'enkola eno gyatutereddewo otukulaakulanya nga najja wano mu SACCO eno nga sirina piki era ndi omu ku bammemba abaasooka okufuna lupiki. Kati abavubuka abali bateesobola kugula piki wano kiba kyama kuba ogula buguzi migabo $5,000 ng'ofuna piki ng'otandika obulamu. Ate ku layisi tuli bangi kuba omuntu tolina miliyoni 5 zigula mpya 5 kitundu oba oguze emigabo ate nga gijjo n'otandikira okwo tolaba nti oba ofunyemu abantu abali batalina mirimu bagifuna. Guno mulimu nno gwennyini tugufunyemu singa simaanyi ga mulimu guno kitegeeza nandibadde sikola ki sina ngeri kigenyiza bikwasaganya abaana abasoma era muki okulya byonna bakwesanyusaamu era kiki era ngutwalanga ensonga enkulu kubanga ofunamu gubinkolera go ge mazima gubinkolera ddala bulungi mukadde tajjula maama gwe nninawo yekka oba oli awo akasimu ante ekinamu ekiri mugira nga noteekayo n'omusindiki ante kino egamba tosobola kubulwamu ki sente.
Ebyenfuna byange byali bibi ddala naye mu bbanga ery'emyezi 9 wenfunidde piki aye obulamu bwakyukira ddala kubanga siganye nakati nkyapangisa naye luli eri nga landirodyako netutandika nga odduka nosanga nga basiirinze nawo naye kati nsobola omusasula nina omukyala n'abaana bendabirira nsobola okubaliisa bulungi nnyo nga embeera etambula era njagala okwebaza omukulembeze w'eggwanga tujjukira nga ffe abavubuka n'atuleetera pulojekiti eno ey'emyoga kuba ne mami wange saazina neenyumirizaamu kuba akubira akasimu n'omuweerezaayo $2 oba 2 kuba oba ozirina. Njagala otwala omukisa guno okwebaza omukulembeze w'eggwanga olw'okutulowoozaako nga ffe abavubuka n'atuleetera pulojekiti y'emyoga ne tutandika okufuna ku mirimu ne tufuna ebyokukola twabeerangawo nga tulina byakukola tutambula butambuzi nakuzzabuza misango naye kati okuva pulojekiti y'emyoga yeyajja kati tukola era sente zaffe tuzirabako era olw'okuba nti nasiima nze ng'omuntu nasalawo n'ekifaananyi kya Pulezidenti Museveni kitambuze mu Kampala yonna mwenkolera okubalaga nti Pulezidenti Museveni yantuusizza ku kino kuba nekolera sente zange era nzifuna era nzirabako.
Nsooka okwebaza omukulembeze w'eggwanga okututeekateeka. Twali tetunnaba kuteekebwateekebwa twafuna okusoomoozebwa nga kungi nnyo omuli okutukwata abasirikale olumu nga tetulina nakitukoze kale nga n'akasente k'oba osonzeewo ggwe nga ggwe akagenda okukuyambako mu bizibu byo nga weekanga okawadde abasirikale naye okuva ffe ghetto structure we yayimirirawo ebintu bingi byakyuka abaana baffe tebakyabakwata nnyo okuggyako abo abamenyi b'amateeka ne be bakutte nga babakwatidde mu ghetto nga ekikwekweto kibadde kiyise nabo tulina omukisa ogugenda okubajjayo abasirikale batuwulira toyinza kugenda ku poliisi n'ogamba DPC nti bakutte omwana wange ng'akumanyi nti oli komanda n'atateekayo nnyo maanyi okukola ki kumugjayo ne neebaza bakama baffe Jeno Damulira afande kuteesa nange tweyanziza nnyo mukoze kyamaanyi bo bakoze kyamaanyi nnyo tuteekateeka kuba bwe twamala okuyingira ghetto structure ne batuteekerawo ne SACCO ne certificate twazifuna kati bwe batteekerawo SACCO eyo era muzeeyi n'amala n'atuukiriza kye yatugamba n'atuteekeramu ssente era kati eno essaawa gye tuliko tuwola abaana tuwola baggeto yuuti ababadde balina bizinesi zaabwe naye nga zibulamu ebyokukola tugenda tubawa okutwaliza wamu kati tuli bulungi tetuli bubi nnyo era twebaliza ddala Pulezidenti Museveni okutukolera ekintu ekyo kuba mu butuufu twali
njagala okwebaza olw'enteekateeka eno gavumenti gye yatondawo ey'okulaba nga omuntu wa wansi omuntu omuwejjero wa ghetto afiibwako nti nga ghettos eriyo embeera eyaliwo nga si nnungi okugereza ddala mu nteekateeka eno nga tennajja abaana bangi baakwatibwanga naye bukya enteekateeka eno ejja bintu bingi bituukiddwako naddala mu nteekateeka z'ebyokwerinda security wamu n'enkulaakulana nga tuyita mu nkola gye bayita eya ghetto structure. Ghetto structure kwe kulonda obukulembeze okuviira ddala ku ghetto esookebwako ku kyalo ne tubeera ne ba coordinators ku muluka paka eno gye tuli. Omwaka guno yatuwa ssente obukadde 10 wano emikono twabufuna era mu nfuna ya ssente zino twagala okwebaza oweekitiibwa Pulezidenti. Ssente zino ziyambye nnyo abantu ba ghetto. Abantu ba ghetto nakubadde gavumenti ebadde n'emiwaatwa mingi gyeyisaamu ssente zaayo okutuuka ku bantu zibayambye naye ssente ezo zibadde tezituuka ku bantu ba ghetto. Ssente zino bannaghetto tuzibawadde era bazifunyeemu. Ebiseera ebisinga wali emabega abantu ba ghetto abamu baali bennyamivu nga bamanyi nti gavumenti yabavaako era ng'osanga abantu abamu mu ghetto nga tebalinaamu nsonga. Oli akugamba ekimbeeza mu ghetto noonyeza emirimu Uganda wonna gibuze. Twagala okusiima Pulezidenti w'eggwanga kubanga ssente ze yatuwa twazifuna era gwe guno omulundi ogwasookera ddala nga bannaghetto mu Uganda era twagala okumwebaza okutwagalira ddala n'atuwa ne ku ssente ezikola. Ffenaffe twagala kumusuubiza nti abalaba gye bamulabira nti akadde ate kati ffe olw'okuba yaakatutandikako tulaba nga yaakavubuka era twagala n'okumulaga amaanyi 26 oba ki ebyatuswaza edda mu mukono twagala okubimalawo mu 2026 tugatteko amaanyi tumwebaze olw'omutima ogwagala abantu ba bulijjo naddala ffe bannaghetto.
era munayo tunafuna akasente wano nkugenda n'osuubula ekintu nga wasobodde okukola naye nga tolina ka capital kati kamala naye kati kuba watandika otuwa ku kasente kati tulaba kati bino ogitambulatambulako bulungi. Obulamu bwange tebwali bulungi ku byenfuna kubanga emirimu tulina ebirimu byaffe gya mu mutwe naye ng'oluusi nobimanyi olina osuubula amatiyo omwokolamu ekyo ebintu ebyo kaneze ng'emipiira ng'egyo tusala busi z'emmotoka naye kati nga muntu akuleetera polopera y'emmotoka nga tolina sente zigula matiriyo naye kati batuwa akasente n'ogula ebintu ne bibeerawo kasoma n'ajja n'omukolera ekintu n'agenda n'akusasula akasente. Obulamu bwange bwali tebwali bulungi kuba buli oba nga ebyenfuna si birungi tosobola kuba bulungi. Era gwe nkubira abavubuka ba ghetto ti bannaaye tujumbire okola kuba buli oba okola gavumenti naye ekudduukire nekusanga w'okolera nekukolera akasente. Tweyanza nnyo Pulezidenti ow'ekitiibwa Pulezidenti era ghetto ya Sako naffe otuddukire n'abantu b'ewansi kutongera mu kabizinensi kaffe naffe tusobole okwekulaakulanya.
In all these years, we emphasize 2 words, wealth and jobs, and we try to waken our people up to show them where wealth and jobs come from.
The Parish Development Model, PDM, is a bold initiative that is reshaping. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
In all these years, we emphasize two words, wealth and jobs, and we try to waken our people up to show them where wealth and jobs come from.
The Parish Development Model, PDM, is a bold initiative that is reshaping Uganda's rural economy. By allocating 100 million shillings to each parish annually, PDM empowers households by unlocking opportunities for wealth creation.
This program will be maintained. Each year we send 100 million for the parish. If you get the 1 million, you can buy some goats, you can buy some pigs, you can buy even young cows.
Farmers are transitioning from subsistence farming to commercial agriculture, laying the groundwork for wealth creation and improved livelihoods.
This project started 11 years ago after an inspiration from His Excellency. And that time I was working as a...
by the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda. It's time for the agenda. My name is Julie F. Nantaba with Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono to talk about an issue that quite a number of Ugandans have been affected by either positively or negatively, and that is the issue of externalization of labor. Now, as unemployment and globalization intersect, many countries continue to look beyond borders to create employment opportunities for their citizens, but with challenges therein. For example, on the 22nd of February, police rescued 10 girls from traffickers in Bushenyi, and 2 suspects were arrested. Police in Bushenyi held 2 suspects, and that was in connection with the alleged human trafficking of young girls who were O-level leavers, senior 4 leavers, and were rescued that night. Now, the suspects allegedly lured young women with fake job offers at a company identified as Nature's Way in Ishaka Town Council. This was a story that ran in the Daily Monitor, and that was as of the 22nd of February 2026, which is not so far from today. So therein we wonder, has it become modern day slavery? Chewing on this matter with my colleague Robert here. Robert, this was once a booming business. Advertising left, right and center, and recruitments pouring in like rain. Is it still as popular, do you think?
Actually, it is not. When we talk about externalization of domestic workers in Uganda, you'll find that at one time, Uganda was exporting labor of domestic workers. That's where I even got the term known by many people, Bakadama. I know you've heard of it.
Yes, I have.
Now, after some time, because of the challenges in regulation, and also how later our girls proved not to be the best when taken. One, we had a country that had gone to Saudi Arabia, because Ugandans must know that it's only the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia where our government has a bilateral agreement to externalize labor, more so domestic workers. Now, these girls, it is said that one, they were over-complaining, girls from Uganda, over-complaining. 2, they were seen to be lazy. 3, that there were certain things that we hadn't done proper. And now what happened, the country known as Burundi took over. In terms of now, if you look at most of those companies did close because they were no longer making money. And some of the offers that were being given by then, what they termed as sponsors, the people who would be, were reduced and cut. Now you find that most of these companies did close, actually. A number of them did close, or they shifted, fun enough, they shifted to Burundi now.
Oh,
so that is another, yes, when you go to Burundi, you find some companies that were externalizing labor here in Uganda that are now in Burundi, and they are doing the same thing there that they were doing here, recruiting the girls, because it is said they are more serious, more focused, more hardworking. And just to remind fellow Ugandans, if you used to pass at the Ministry of Internal Affairs, you would see a line of these girls.
Yes.
I was speaking to Simon Monde, who is the spokesperson of Ministry of Internal Affairs, and to be more specific, immigration. And they said they used to issue around 2,000 passports, but now they issue around 500.
Interesting.
So the number dramatically reduced because of these girls, that particular industry. But I would say it was our fault as a country.
All right. Before even we get to it being our fault as a country, you mentioned something rather interesting, that Ugandan girls were considered lazy. Is the word lazy used in a relative term, or was it an absolute?
What do I mean by they were considered lazy? First, I think we didn't take the right people for that job.
Okay.
Or we didn't explain to our girls exactly what is needed where they are going. One, you'd find a girl, she's been doing something very light here. Even she hires a maid. Let me give you one of the group. Have you ever heard of people called karaoke dancers?
Yes, yes.
These young girls who perform in nights in bars, you know. Now, when they heard, and it says statistics show that a number of them went, when they heard that someone is going to earn from between 800, 900 to 1 million a month. Now they tell them they are giving you food, they are giving you medical, they are housing you. So literally they believed nothing you're using this money except sending it back home. But remember, these are girls that literally do nothing apart from dance. You find she doesn't cook, she has someone who comes and washes her clothes, the little money she gets that night, and of course how they play their earnings, some men that come, then tip her, that dance, and all that. Now, our screening, most of the girls were not ready for the purpose. So when they reached there, they were seen as lazy, because this is a person who maybe has just lost a job and is known because you need nothing to go to Saudi Arabia. The medical is paid for, the visa is paid for, the ticket is paid for. So the companies were yearning for them like nothing. So our sieve to get the right people fit for purpose and job was not very strict. When they reached there, they would get shocked if they were told, you have to wake up at this time, start work at this time, you know, you have 3 floors, today you clean this, the other. So the work was so very much for them to handle, terming them as lazy, because I believe the few that were able, because you have those that made it there, but it's said that majority of these girls, are you aware, some of them even develop tendencies of saying they're possessed by demons. A girl reaches there, the task is so much for her, then the next begins falling, doing funny things. These are some of the complaints that also were raised. A girl reaches there and says, well, for me, I'm not going to work.
All right. Looking at the fault still, away from the laziness, because I also understand that usually the houses they go to are way probably bigger than the house she has experienced in her lifetime. And when it comes to the chores are hard paper.
So and also the differences in culture. Now we are in a fasting period.
In culture, yes.
Let me tell you, here in Uganda, when you look at the Arabs in their countries, most especially Saudi Arabia, during the day they are sleeping. In this period, they don't work, most of them. During the day they are sleeping. Now at 7 after breaking the fast, those people will eat until I think 4 a.m. when they eat that meal to start fasting. So a maid there the entire night almost doesn't sleep in the fasting period because they are eating, for them they are shopping. Their livelihood starts after
iftar.
futari. That's so some are going to play soccer, they're shopping. So this girl, you've just slept, then they're back for.
But also to even look at the sizes of their homes.
Even
they
the sizes.
are usually huge mansions.
Yes, they'll tell you this day you have this clean this floor, the next day this floor, the other day this floor. So there were a lot of things that the induction lacked to tell these girls reality because they wanted to deploy them.
0709602592 to share your experience or your opinion on externalization of labor. Now, where do we fault as Ugandans? Where does the government of Uganda fault in there? But also, let's flip the coin and look at now the bosses they are taken to. Because we've seen many who have lost lives, many whose organs probably are even extracted from there. There are those who come back, but they're typically walking corpses.
Now, I'll look at a number of areas. One, first, the girls themselves or their families. We've had stories of a woman who murdered a celebrity in Syria. Now, the first thing is, how did she get there? We've heard stories coming from Oman. We've heard stories coming from very many countries in the Arab region where Uganda has no bilateral agreement to externalize domestic workers, meaning you were there and you were trafficked. Because only Saudi Arabia is the only country where Uganda allows externalization of domestic workers in that Arabs region, because remember their cultures and also much. And their government can somehow protect and do some bit of supervision for that girl, because the government and government sat. Now, for most of the stories, harsh stories that have been on internet, most of these girls are there on their own. They were trafficked. Two, not to say that those that went through legal ways do not have challenges, but they are very minimal, because government of Uganda licenses companies or licensed companies to engage in externalization of domestic workers. Now, because these ones are licensed, government can withdraw their license, they can be taken on, there is a way of doing things, but most of these girls, still some chose to go even through either unregistered or not to go through companies. Someone comes back and says, as a maid in Saudi Arabia, I can't take you. You find someone going on individual, going with a friend, then they are trafficked saying they are visiting, whatever happens. So that is true. Now, I go to the companies themselves. One, the companies that were in labor externalization of domestic workers so much loved profits. A number of them loved so much profits and didn't think about the human beings as something they are trading in. Why? They knew very well the nature of work these girls are going in.
Right.
But because they wanted the girls, they had orders already. It was very hard for them to say that you don't qualify. Because if you have orders of 300
so
girls, so you need whoever comes, you go, whatever you find there, it is up to you. If you can't handle, some of these girls had to escape. A few of them would take action and the company would make a loss in terms of making a replacement. And finally, on the government side, we were supposed to have government attaches in Saudi Arabia, but government failed at that implementation. Now you'd find a company like Enjazi that has transported a girl, and the company had its attaches there. Now if a girl is in the house of a general, how are you going to tell an attaché of a company to go to a house of a general? But this attaché of government, this is governments and governments, it would be easy.
Very well indeed. Thank you, Robert, for that light. Now, in the meantime, we are going to have a conversation with an expert in this field on the same issue, externalization of labor. What are the challenges and opportunities therein? In just a bit. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning. Eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website 55.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning to you. Thank you so much for choosing UBC TV this morning. And on Good Morning Uganda, still looking at the topic of externalization of labor. What are the challenges and opportunities? Now, to bring us up to speed and help us unpack more is an expert, that is Ashe Chitandwe, who is a Rotarian, first and foremost, but also the director and CEO of Enjazi Limited, a company that is in the exact field that we are discussing this morning. Good morning, Sebo.
Morning to you, Julie. Morning, viewers of UBC. Happy to be here this morning.
Indeed, happy to have you on board. Let's start with the definition of labor externalization in this current global economy.
Right. Thank you very much, Julie, for that very good question. Labor externalization, first of all, is migration. But migration that is specifically for work.
Right.
So whoever lives under the docket of going to work in another country, that is labor externalization. As simple as that.
And with what it's been like, different clothes it wears, and I love the simplicity you've given, but for some of it, especially with, say, the Arab countries where we've seen many of the labor exported from Uganda taken to,
right,
it's looked at with a face now of modern slavery.
Right.
Do you carry the same perspective?
No. First of all, if the government of Uganda has signed a labor bilateral agreement with country X, and the conditions in that labor bilateral agreement are well stipulated, you know, minding all the rights and everything, that can be modern day slavery.
Right.
I've been to the UAE, and you find a lot of British and American people working in the UAE. Should we call that modern day slavery? We have a lot of people working here from other countries.
Right.
That's not modern day slavery, no. If you look at the hotel the industry today, you realize that you have a lot of Kenyan workers here. So what should we call that? So for me, that's not the whole point. But it is safe and organized labor, migration. And that's where the whole conversation should be.
Safe and organized labor.
Yes, migration, yes, as simple as that. Are we following what we've promised?
That's profound. That's a very profound one.
Exactly.
And in just a bit, I think I'll ask you if the people who receive the labor are following what they have signed.
Exactly.
But before we get there, what challenges have you faced in the field and area of labor externalization?
Right. First of all, we are now working within a very limited market. The reason being that as Uganda, we have very few bilateral agreements. Actually, we have 1 or 2. And because of that, we're not, we don't have opportunities in bigger spaces where we look at the employer pays principle. And because of that, that is a bit of a challenge. But if you have more bilaterals where the employer pays principle, so that means the would-be migrant workers wouldn't have to, you know, pay, here and there. But because we don't have that, that becomes a bit of a challenge. Secondly, when you look at, because for example now, the only bilateral that is active is between Uganda and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, that is all. But if you look at countries like Kenya, they have BLAs with Germany, with the UK, where they actually externalize health workers and stuff like that. So Uganda, we only have one, and that is with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So that is already a challenge, because our people who are not interested in domestic work, for example, don't have those other opportunities.
Yes.
And yet, if we had those, then, I mean, that would be a very good thing.
Has our net been wide before? Because it feels like, from, I've always just heard the net of domestic workers, security guards, domestic workers, security guards, or drivers, maybe. I don't think I've heard doctors or nurses or anything in that line. Have we had that before?
Not really, no. Yeah. But there was an opportunity, I think, with Trinidad and Tobago at some point, and yet at some point I think it died out.
Right.
But that is one of the areas, or those are one of the areas that we want to focus on. And for us to be able to do that, we need to have these BLAs signed, because you cannot do much
without
yes, because once you have those in place, then you're able to actually tap into all those other opportunities. And right now, globally, labor externalization is the in thing. People are moving from country X to country Y. So we need to be more intentional. That is why one of the biggest challenges is that. Now, going back to the migrant workers, because I think that's where your biggest concern is.
Yeah.
True, we've had some challenges, but I want to commend the Ministry of Labour and the government of Uganda at large for the policies they put in place. You realize that now you cannot deploy a Ugandan to a country where there are no labour attachés, where there are no supervisors, what we call supervisors from our companies, to follow up and handle would-be issues and stuff like that. So that is one. Then secondly, of course, human beings remain human beings. There are good people, there are bad people, just like how we have good people in Uganda and bad people.
Right.
So, but those that have, done a few bad things, there should be a mechanism or a framework to handle those. And indeed, we've seen people getting persecuted in courts, and all that stuff, and jailed. So yes, it happens, it happens. So that is the whole point. But we need to be, one, open up more bilateral agreements with other countries. Two, have an intentional system that checks, the welfare of our people. And if things, for example, I want to give you an example of this case we've been seeing in the media of a Ugandan lady in Syria.
Yes.
That is a case of human trafficking. That is one of the biggest challenges we have. Human trafficking. She's on her own, facing a very, very big case that can cost her life. But I mean, where's the remedy?
The hands are tied.
Exactly, because she went through wrong channels. And I want to reiterate this same thing. Ugandans, we are only allowed to externalize domestic workers to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, no other country. So if someone goes to the UAE as a domestic worker, they're working outside
of Uganda's protections.
So you're on your own. Of course, as a government, they can, come in when you have some issues, but you're working on your own. So I'd rather you're on your own. So I want to remind all Ugandans, please, if you want to go and work as a domestic worker, the only country where we're allowed to work as domestic workers, externalize rather Ugandans as domestic workers, is the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. That is it. That is it.
As we begin to close this, how does Enjazi prepare its labor force for the competitive global market out there?
Right. First of all, now we have these training centers, and they have a very good curriculum spelled out to skill, our migrant workers specifically to what they're going to do. I want to give you an example. If, for example, you're going to work as a domestic worker, there is a 14-day mandatory training that you have to go through. And
what does the training look like? To paint a picture.
First of all, you're looking at destination culture, you're looking at language, you're looking at financial literacy, you're looking at And many more. I've
Right.
forgotten the other ones. So that is what happens then for the security guards and stuff like that. Of course, those ones now we have what we call a refresher training for them, especially things like polishing up their shooting skills and stuff like that.
Right.
But also financial literacy is very key because we've seen very many people that go work and come back and blow their money. So we want that to be well inculcated in them so that when they get back, they are more productive, and of course the country needs more taxpayers.
That's
Yes.
very true.
Yes.
Now, I wish we had a lot of time for this conversation, but maybe in just a bit,
Yeah.
could you paint a picture of how externalization of labor is upping the economy of Uganda for the citizens, but also for the government?
Thank you very much, Julie. First of all, last year, we were able to bring in $1.4 billion, and those were remittances. And we want to be like Kenya. Kenya is at about 4-5 billion now, but we want to do more than that.
Yep.
So if we work together as a country and also seek for more opportunities through our government framework, then we should be able to at least do that. But we've also seen a lot of households changing. We've seen a lot of people. Remember, our sector taps into all levels of education.
Yeah.
We've seen senior 2, senior 3 dropouts that have been able to go make some money, come back here, they've started businesses, and government is getting taxes from them. So I think that is one thing as well. But school fees being paid, families have been able to build houses and all these things. So I think we're doing very well, but we need to do more. We need to do more. Yes, thank you.
Very
Jenny.
profound at that. And I've remembered that therein we talked about promises when these MOUs are signed, that those promises that are broken by either parties, especially those parties to where the labor is exported to. What are some of those screws that are unloosened after signing the MOU by the other party?
I think most of those are actually checked with joint technical committees. Once things like that happen, at least the joint technical committees for the two countries are able to handle those. But the biggest issue is in the area of abuses. Employers abusing our workers. That is the biggest concern. And when that happens, we need to have serious mechanisms that handle those. And for us, I want to tell you that there's been a very big improvement. We had challenges many years ago, but now there are big strides we've made in the right direction. So that is all. That is all I can say in that area.
Very profound. That allow me read some of the comments that are coming through.
Okay.
And thank you so much for watching the show and following the conversation. We're having it with Ashe Chitandwe, Rotarian, but also the director and CEO of Enjazi Limited, looking at externalization of labor. What are the challenges? What are the opportunities? And let me start with good morning, Julie. It's me, Isaac Wanzala. Sometimes I sit down and ask myself, what takes a country to improve on her currency value? So to me, I think to curb these challenges of outsourcing labor in Uganda, the Ugandan currency should be made valuable. And someone else just says, good morning. In my opinion, externalization of labor, I think externalization is both disadvantageous and advantageous, in my opinion. What would you tell Mr. Mugisha from Nansana?
Mr. Mugisha, thank you very much for your comment and for your opinion. Every good thing has a bad thing, a bad side rather. And yes, at the moment, what do we do for a big population of young people who are unemployed? What do we do?
Something has to be done.
Yes.
All right.
And for us who are in this sector, we are saying this is a short-term remedy. Go get money, come back home, invest and do something. If it's farming, go into farming. If it's any business. So that is why I'm saying short-term. But we also don't want to have everyone leave Uganda.
Right.
No, we want 2 years. Work 2, 3, 4 years, come back home, invest. That is the whole point.
Sometimes actually, I think the money is also, don't make sense to me in the sense that many of these young ladies especially are promised a net maybe of 2,800,000 around there. But we tend to forget that the life over there is more expensive, the cost of living is more expensive than it is in Uganda. Sometimes I wonder how the math adds up ultimately.
Okay, thank you, Julie. First of all, it also depends. You've mentioned the young ladies, so I take it that you're focusing on domestic workers.
Yeah, in my mind, but opinion. You could burden the picture for me.
Yes, but domestic workers don't pay rent because they are working,
okay, yes,
you know, and that helps them to save their money. Actually, when you're intentional, in 2 years you have over 20 million shillings. Yes, so, and that is, of course, they're provided meals, you know, medical, housing, so they save their money, and in 2 years they have at least 20 million shillings. And this is someone who, I mean, how many Ugandans professionals?
Yeah, because you're under 2,800,000 and you have a lot on there. Dear UBC, thank you for deliberating on this pertinent issue. The biggest paradox lies in the fact that most of our girls are excited about boarding a plane for the first time rather than going to work. Then there's the issue of cultural shock versus time allocated to fit in. And we must be able to create opportunities back home, incubate them and employ our people back home. However, enough training and factual discussions must be held with those who continue being exported. This is Bruno Ignatius Namisi in Sironko. Thank you so much for being on the show. Your parting shot.
Thank you very much, Julie. Fellow Ugandans, I want to urge you to kindly follow what our Ministry of Labour tells us. Let us go through proper channels. Anyone who is trying to traffic anyone, kindly report them, because trafficking is the biggest problem we have. There are very many Ugandans now stuck abroad because of that very vice. So kindly go through proper channels and then you will benefit from your work abroad. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. That is Ashe Chitandwe, Rotarian, Director, CEO of Enjazi Limited. Been speaking with us on externalizing of labor opportunities. I hope you've got a thing or two learned, unlearned, and relearned. Good morning. Let's do this again tomorrow.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat